Hi everyone, welcome to Gong. I'm Cyndi. I'm happy to have you here. We're going to begin doing some warm-ups and getting our energy moving. And I like to start with warming up the legs first. And since we're combining this a little bit with our book study, we've been practicing progressive relaxation in our study of the Healer Within material. And in progressive relaxation, one of the methods is tensing and relaxing. And so we'll start by waiting. How about we do this? I'm going to be referring, rather than to a left and a right side of the body, I will refer to the rose, since I have some roses over here, or the chair. And that way you have reference. So it'll be, if I say chair, it'll be that side of the body closest to the chair that I want you to move towards, or opposite towards the flowers. Okay, let's rub our hands together just to acknowledge the sensitivity in our hands to sensation and energy, and the acknowledgement and the intention that we are trying to increase the sensitivity to the subtle energies. Good. And then pausing, and then just let your hands rest next to your side. And let's turn the palms towards the body and imagine that the hands are radiating energy towards the legs. And see if we can just let the arms move a little away and a little bit towards the body, and get a sense of feeling a little bit different energy as the hands move away and towards the body, just to start taking our attention towards the more subtle dimensions of our existence, which exist beyond the physical body. Now let's weight the leg closest to the flowers, so we shift our weight in that direction, so we can take some weight off of the opposite leg, and then draw that toe in. And you can either lift the leg up or just keep resting on the big toe, and we'll start to tighten all the muscles of that leg. Start by curling the toes, tensing the foot, the ankle, the lower leg, and the upper leg, moving the leg in whatever way you need to feel like you just tense the whole entire leg that's lifted, and then relax it and set it down. And do the other side, weighting the leg closest to the chair. Pick up the heel of the opposite leg, and if you feel like you have the stability in the core to balance and lift on one leg, you can do that. Or you can keep the toe resting on the floor. Tighten, 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 squeeze, contract, create tension in the leg. Good. And then relax with a little bit of a kick. Good, to let that go. And then taking and weighting the leg closest to the flowers again, slide the opposite foot back. We'll start to create some movement in the ankle, just stirring a little circular motion in the ankle. Good, you can feel that all the way up the leg, reverse direction. There we go. Now we're going to add a stretch for the fascia of the top of the foot. So the toes point back, and to the degree that it's comfortable for you, put a little weight on the top of that foot by bending that forward leg. Yeah, that could be uncomfortable, so really be mindful. Take a deep breath. Come out of it as much as you need to feel comfortable, and then slide the toes forward and give it a kick. And rest your weight in this leg closest to the chair. Pick up the heel of the opposite leg, slide it behind. Good, so you have more weight on that forward leg, and we begin to stir. Now you can keep a nice width between the feet so you're not on a balance beam. That will help you balance. And stirring up that ankle. That should feel good. Reverse direction. Make the circle as small or as large as you'd like. Good. Now taking and tucking the toes under, a little weight on the top of the foot. Sink a little down if you can here in the knees. Good. And then slide that foot forward like you're kicking sand off your toe, and then weight that leg, and then shifting from side to side, weighting one leg and then the other, saying hello to the knees. Gentle rocking motion here. Good. Now notice how the shoulders just kind of follow the hips, and the arms, as you get more and more relaxed, start to follow the shoulders. Good. And place your hands on your hips. Come to the center now and tighten up your legs. Both feet, curling the toes, tighten the legs, tighten all the way up the legs into the pelvis. Tip that pelvis, tighten the core and the glutes. Good. And then relax everything and start to roll through the hips. Good. So the tensing and relaxing creates tension in the muscles. And then we relax the muscles, and that starts to stimulate more energy into the joints and the muscles of the legs. Good. We're going to do that again as we come back to the center. Pause. Good. Curl the toes. If you'd like, you can come up onto the toes. Let me step back so you can see my feet. Come up onto the toes. Tighten everything up. The lower part of the legs. Sink a little into the knees. See if you can tighten your thighs and your glutes and your core, trying to keep the shoulders relaxed. And then this time as you relax, land into the heels. Good. And reverse direction with your hip circle. I got a wall behind me I have to watch out for. Going and falling down. Good. Rolling around those hips. Really feeling the weight shifting from one leg to the other. Scooping out all the corners of this circle. And feeling a nice smooth movement along the spine. Rising up energy. Feeling nice cylindrical flow into the hips, and then pausing and releasing the arms to the side. Now we'll begin to do some shaking as we bend the knees. Just shake the body, and this is going to be a little bit of spontaneous movement where you can just go with what your body is seemingly wanting to unwind here, just by being given permission to take up some space and shake off some stress, and use your breath as you inhale. Use the sound of your voice as you exhale. Yes, we were just talking about how sound is being used in chiropractic to make adjustments now. So the sound of your own voice is a very healing sound for you, especially the sound of a sigh. Let the arms shake to the side and then overhead. Good, looking up if it's safe for your neck. And as you exhale, let your wrists roll down in front of the spine and shake. Good, one more time. This time, arms up and exhale. Let the arms come down with a sigh. Very good. And rub your hands together again. Step in a little closer. You can see my hands. Interlace those fingers, and let's begin to roll through the wrists. So even if we just did our Qigong warm-ups, you'd be feeling more energy flowing through your system. We're going to do a series of warm-ups, and we're going to do some flowing motions. Good, now flex. And then we'll do a cool down and a little self-massage. Bring the arms out in front. Round the spine now as you sink into the knees. See if you can feel a nice rounding of the spine. And rising up, stretching the front of the body. Let the arms come behind the head, and to support your shoulders, bend your elbows if you need that support. And then let the arms drop down and next to the side. Good, and let the arms float up, inhale, and sink back, exhale. Good, you step back again. Arms float up as you inhale, the knees are slightly bent, and exhale. Your feet are about hip width apart, and for some of us, we like it a little wider than hip width apart to feel more balanced. That's great. Just go with what feels natural and flowing here as we connect our movement with our breath. Yes. Inhale. And exhale. Imagine a wave as you inhale, rising up, the water swelling up, and then sinking back down. Good. Riding those swells of the ocean, those internal waves now, forcing the body, riding on the breath to flow. Good, now let the hands float up in front. And let's draw the hand closest to the chair towards the heart, and let the hand closest to the flowers cover. Take the thumb of that outside hand and push it into the palm of the inside hand, and then extend the arms. And as you do so, pull back on those fingers and feel a nice stretch on the top of that wrist. Great. And then pull that elbow back, scrub the ribs with the elbow. Point the fingertips of that hand down towards the earth and push them into the fingertips of the opposite hand. Come straight out with that. Good. You can notice my elbow is still slightly bent there. It's not completely hyperextended. I'm still getting a good stretch. We're going to do that again. As we pull the elbow back, this time point the fingers up to heaven and press across the body in an angle. Getting a stretch on the bottom of the wrist. Good. And then take the fingers and create a little bit of a grip there as you kind of scoop those fingers into each other. Pull that arm up and back. Stretch the tricep and then come to the side. Good. Now extend both arms straight. Good. Create a big circle in front of the body. Opposite hand coming in first. Hand closest to the flowers comes in towards the heart. Opposite hand covers, thumb scoops underneath and behind, pushing into the palm of the hand into what's called the Gong point at the center of the palm. We'll give it a firm little pressure there to open that vortex in the palm of the hand, creating an even more sensitivity in the hand. And then outstretch that arm, but don't completely hyperextend the elbow. Just keep a slight bend there. Feeling still a stretch on the top of the wrist, pulling back on these fingers. Good, let's use the breath as we inhale, bring the elbow back, and as we exhale, extend forward, fingers pointing down and drawing back. Give me a stretch on the top of the wrist. Good, still a little bend in the elbow here. We're not completely hyperextending. Still getting a good stretch. Scoop the elbow back and then push forward and across. Good. As it's like kind of going inside the bottom of a barrel and up. Feel the movement, half circle, feel the stretch. Now curl those fingertips in, draw that arm back. Feel a nice stretch on that tricep muscle. Square your hips and shoulders towards me and then take it into your side bend towards the chair. Release the arms, extending in both directions. And bring both hands down to the center, creating a ball of energy and drawing it up towards the navel. Good. And let's hold this position, creating nice loose fists and pulling those fists in towards the kwa in a yin stance. Roll the shoulders back and just feeling into the strength of your legs here, the roots of your tree sinking deep into the earth. We're going to think, number one, fun. Put a smile on your face. Think about smiling to all your internal organs. You can do this with the eyes open or closed. Just imagine smiling with affection to all the internal organs. Number two is shu. Bring attention to your feet. Start to send energy to the feet. Number three is tree. Imagine a root sinking down through the soles of your feet into the core of the earth, branching out, forming the network of a tree root system, equivalent to what we'd see above ground, below ground. And now see that root system in number four, core, wrapping around the core of the earth and drawing energy up from the core of the earth. Your knees are slightly bent here, so you're feeling your legs working. You're feeling the legs lift and pull energy from the core of the earth up. Your legs are filling up like a vessel with chi. Number five is alive. Feel that chi filling your body. Good. Now relax the arms and draw the arms over the head. Look up. Stay in your lower body position. Draw the arms down in front of the body. Fingertips facing upward. Looking slightly upward. Elbows bent. Still holding your lower body stance. Imagine light coming from above into the branches of your tree through your fingers, spilling in and filling you up. Your legs are filling up, your feet are filling up with chi, with light. Imagine seeing like a glass being poured into with a pitcher of golden light or an elixir of medicine. Your whole body's filling up. And then turn the palms down towards the earth. Elbows come out wide. We're going to help support and bring this energy down into the lower dantian, just below the navel. And then place the hands there and begin to circle towards the chair and then in the opposite direction. We're going to move in both directions with this one. So just feeling ourselves stirring that chi into the center of the body around the navel, and the navel like a straw, sucking it up. Good, and then reversing it. Do 2 more like that. Nice and slow. Good. Let this one come all the way up to the heart. And then take the hands down to the side of the body. And this time begin to rotate and let the arms swing, creating a little movement along the spine in our twist. The hand that wraps around behind the body is tapping the opposite kidney. Saying hello to the kidney energy, the Jing energy, waking up the life force energy, keeping things flowing. Good. If you can take your gaze all the way over the shoulder, that's useful to start bringing energy all the way up the cervical vertebrae. Good. Now, as we start to move towards the flowers, the opposite hand coming around the waist, good, we're shifting our weight into this leg. We're going to pull around the chi belt, so around the waist, and the hand from behind wraps around, and we turn and then brush down the leg closest to the chair. Good, and then let the arms float up and back, and then push down, and then begin rocking into the feet back and forth. Just rocking over the bubbling spring at the bottom of the foot, imagine connecting more deeply with that root system through those feet. So you can see the movement now, combining upper and lower body. Good, let the arms come up and over the head, come back to the center, and release the arms down. Proceed to go back into your twisting, knocking on the kidney. We'll do a few of these and go to the other side. You should start feeling a little bit more kind of airiness about your field, a little bit more space around your body to move in. Good, 2 more, 1 and 2. This time, opposite direction, arms wrap around. Good, shifting and turning, sliding and gliding around and down the leg. Good, pulling anything off the leg that's not supportive of flowing energy, come around, create a circle. Push hands right up into that front foot and then sink back into the back foot like you're on a rocking horse, the legs kind of rocking back and forth. That's the way. Feel the glow and the flow of just moving with ease. Not much effort at all here. Are you breathing? Find a way to breathe, whether it's connected to the movement or not. Keep breathing. It'll find its way into the movement. 2 and 1. Arms come up behind the head as we pivot, turn, and press the hands out to the side, and then draw the arms forward, pulling the hands back and down. Good. Let the palms now turn upright. Supine position with the palms, elbows come back. Good, we're gonna roll through the wrists, elbows, shoulders, push the arms back, bend the knees, and then let the arms come forward as you come up and down. Draw energy from around the sides, out in front. Pull energy back, wrap it around the waist, sink into the roots, rise up out of the branches, and draw everything back as though you're trying to accumulate, gather, and store energy in this part of the body. Scoot back, reaching, circulating, and flowing. Gather. As you bring the elbows back, if it's comfortable for you to open the front body by stretching forward, arching back slightly, do so. If not, modify and do what supports you, bringing it through. Good. Gather and bring it over the head this time. Feeling a nice smooth energy coming around. We're going to gather and then direct energy along the meridians or the energy pathways through the body. We're not actually physically touching the body. We're working with an energy body, a more subtle body than the physical body. And imagine, just like if you would visualize seeing yourself ironing a really wrinkly sheet, and you put that hot iron on the sheet and you run it across that ironing board and it gets flat and crisp and all the wrinkles go away. Similar to that in our field, when we move our hands through our energy field, all of the congested, stagnant energies that kind of hang out in our field that might look like little dark clouds get to be ironed out. This time, hands come over the head and we'll stretch the arms out to the side and begin to move a little bit differently through the upper body meridians. As we take the hand underneath, okay, we're going to trace underneath the arm. Good, now this time, bring it across the body and then pulling under, and this time going over the top as you come across. Now this hand is going to pull under, a little bit different than we've done before, and then over the shoulder. You can physically touch yourself here. Still working both the energy and the physical body. As we brush the skin, we work with the lymphatic system. Good, and then just notice what's happening in the lower body. You can do what feels right for you. For me, there's a nice little rocking motion. It feels organic. And now bringing the hands together, draw them down to the center, and then imagine lifting up. And then as we push down, we simultaneously want to feel that lifting up and catching that energy here. Good. And we're moving energy between the lower and the middle dantian here. I want you to bring your attention to the center of your body along your spine and imagine seeing a pillar of light being established between the heart, good, and just below the navel. Good, and you can imagine now that you're holding a ball of energy between your hands and you're pulling it up behind the heart, through the heart, and forward, down in front, and the same thing. You're bringing it down in front of the pelvis, pulling it behind. Even though the hands are staying in front of the body, imagine this ball of energy, creating this looping energy, this looping pattern, and it's leaving a trail of golden light or a trail of a golden thread that's wrapping around from the lower to the middle dantian. And then we're going to take it and let it come up a little higher to what's called the upper dantian or the Shen point in the head. Good. And start to feel as though your spine is rolling back and stretching forward, starting to take on the shape of this energy. Feel each vertebrae of the spine leaning into the support of that shape that you've created. By winding this energy around the spine, we reinforce the direction that we want the energy to flow, which is through the center of the body. Now pausing here at the heart, let the energy stay between the hands but extend it out in front. Good, now pull back towards the heart and bring it down. And as you bring it down, you're tucking your chin to your chest, feeling as though there's an actual weight that you're carrying and letting it flow down the front of the body, and then bringing it out in front and holding it. And you're moving through that same pattern, that same shape, only in reversing the order, conditioning and training the energy to flow in both ways, and also feeling physically everything that is involved and recruited in terms of the spine being able to move in this way. We don't often exercise our body in a way that we extend our spine. Backwards. It certainly helps to keep the flexibility of the spine functional. Now bring the hands down to that lower dantian. Hold the energy there. Find a neutral spine, and then inhale, expand, feeling like your arms are like wings floating out. And exhale, contract. Inhale, expand. Mobilizing the chi, and exhale, contract, compress, like we're bringing everything back to the core, the center. Inhale, mobilize, just like if we needed to go to the bank and get some money and mobilize it in our life for something that needs to be taken care of. And then when we're done, we restore and return to that reserve what we can. Good for rejuvenating. And I want you to take your hands, create fists, extend them towards me, and then turn those fists so the palms are facing down. Straighten the arms next to the sides, sink into the knees. Good, and as you rise up into the pads of the feet, lift the arms. You can pause right here if that's as much as you can do with your shoulder flexibility, or you can extend the arms up higher. Just keep tensing in the arms. Keep tensing in the arms as you lower down into the heels, sink into the knees, push the arms slightly behind the hips. Come on up. If you can, lift your heels, come into the pads of the feet, and if you can, again, lift your arms overhead. Clearly, you can modify any of this to suit your level of strength, flexibility, and balance. You can also take it to a chair and do just the upper body. The idea is to keep tension in the arms, keep fists, keep tightening, keep squeezing, keep moving slow, and keep breathing. And when we release that tension in the arms, after 2 more reps, stay with it, you're going to feel a rush of energy moving in and back to the hands. Good. And we will use that energy for self-massage. Come on up. Last one. Up. Tighten, tighten, tighten. Hold, hold, hold. Now release the grip on the hands. Open the palms. Sink into the heels. Sink into the knees. Bend the elbows. And let the hands come down, down, down slowly. Putting your attention fully in your hands. Notice what you feel. Notice what you feel in your hands. Turn the palms up. Look down at your hands. They should be pretty pink. And rub them together. Great. Wonderful. Now, taking your hand closest to the chair, cross the body and place it on top of the shoulder closest to the flowers. Take the hand closest to the flower, support your elbow, and reach in and start massaging that trapezius muscle, and really see the energy in the hands penetrating that muscle. So it's like a heated instrument massaging the muscle on the upper back, and then take it towards the neck and start massaging the side of the neck. There we go. And use this thumb, get in there where it feels good for you. Get some good pressure in there, whatever you can tolerate. That's right. Good, and then just let that hand brush down the arm. Good, and rub the hands together again. Good. Again, take a look at the hands. They should be pretty pink. And take the hand across, opposite side. Go ahead and support that elbow. It's really helpful to take stress off that shoulder. Good. Now that we've massaged it, we don't want to add any stretch. Get in there. Really squeeze and pull forward with those fingers. You reach back as far as you can, squeeze, and then pull and draw forward. Feel that stretch on the top of the shoulder, around to the back of the neck. Good, you know where your tight spots are. Get in there. Feel the heat of the hands. See and visualize energy transmitting from the hands into the body. And see the body really soaking that up, lapping that energy up. Good, and then let your hand brush down the arm and release the arms, bring it up and overhead. Big breath in. And as your hands drop down and land, they're going to cross at the wrists and land on the collarbones. Good. Now let your elbows come up, and we're going to bend the knees and sink down into the legs. Good. Hold this for a few moments. We're going to breathe here and feel the strength of the legs. You might have a little shakiness happening in the legs. It's okay. We want to sink and expand. So rather than sinking and collapsing the knees, we sink and expand, meaning imagining a ball between those knees. Good. 4 more breaths here. Really feel the connection with the soles of the feet reaching into the earth. Stay with me. This is where it gets really good. Even though it feels uncomfortable, you can be with us for a couple more breaths. Feel into the legs. Feel the heat. Feel the trembling. It's just energy. Now bend forward. Good. Straighten the legs. Release the arms and let them dangle. Circling the arms. Good. In reverse direction with the arms. Good. And then start to stack the spine 1 vertebrae at a time. Keep those arms circling. Good. Bend the knees slightly to support your back as you come. And draw the arms big circles over the head. Big circles. Good. Circular patterns in the field. Creating flow. 1 more time. Big circle up. Good. This time flow down. Fold down. Let the backs of the hands come together. Pull up. Over the head. Around the head. And down. Continuing to guide energy with the magnetism of the hands. Imagine all the energy attracted to the hands like metal filings to a magnet. And see all that energy now being trained to move in the direction of the hands. Circling around the body through the field and up the center. Up the roots of a tree, up the trunk of the tree, out the branches. 2 more in that direction. Good. If you only did this much, just moving through the field slowly, guiding the energy to circulate along that major pathway. Good. Visually seeing things happening now. Pausing here and catching a ball at the lower dantian or medicine field. Good. Let the elbows get soft, the wrists get soft, and the fingers curl to hold the energy. Good. Take 2 more breaths here. Sink into those legs if you can. Feel these standing poses really start to work to build more strength and endurance in the legs. Once the legs fill up with energy, then the rest of the body fills with energy. Pull the hands apart slightly. Good. Fingers point towards the hips, reaching back through the rotation of the wrists, pushing back through the heels of the hands. Good. And then sinking down to the knees, let the arms float. And then just that right arm, the arm closest to the chair, scoops back, gathers some chi, and draws it forward. Good. And then we combine it and bring it back to the lower dantian. Hands come back, roll through the wrists, push back, feel the stretch in the shoulders, the top of the shoulders, the chest, sink into the knees. Draw the arms forward. Other side, hand closest to the flower. Turn, rotate, feel the spine rotate. Look back, follow the hand with your gaze. Imagine you're gathering energy from behind. From behind is the yin space of the body. In front is the yang. And then we combine the yin and the yang and draw it into the lower dantian. Again, trying to move through these slowly, and that way, as we synchronize our breath with our movement, it forces us to slow down our breathing, which will support our brainwave function in moving from beta to alpha. Good. And as we do that, we start to access different states of what we could call consciousness or awareness. Sometimes the information that we need, the answers that we're seeking, exist in a different state. So we have to slow down our movement, our breath, and our thinking to access that state of mind, and the answer's sitting there waiting. Like if you're going to go to a banquet and it's on the 4th floor, you're not going to find it on the 3rd floor. You have to get in the elevator, go to the 4th floor, and there's the banquet. So we're basically just changing states, like getting in an elevator and going to a different floor by slowing down the movement and the breath. Good, now gather that energy and we'll draw it back up and reinforce that channel that we created between the lower dantian and the middle. Good, let your hand movements be slow and graceful, but also visually imagine moving your hands through water or any other substance that comes to mind. Let's do a couple more. Slow it down even more. Slowing. Notice the challenge that comes with even just trying to slow something down. Shift your weight into the leg closest to the chair. Take the hand closest to the flowers and reach back towards the kidney closest to the chair. And then bending forward, take the hand closest to the chair, palm up, scooping towards the flower and coming up. And then drawing a line across the heart like you're opening a window to the heart. And then shifting the weight into the leg closest to the flower. Good. This hand that just opened the window of your heart draws back towards the opposite kidney. And the hand comes off the kidney, palm up, scooping up and pulling across. So with the energy turning towards more warmer weather, this one is for kidneys. So as we bend the knee and sink back, we reach back towards the kidney, the water element. We scoop the water from the earth and cool off the heart. So the heart is the fire energy. We're working with the fire and the water elements. So when we get into extreme heat, we want to work with the controlling element for fire, which is water. And so we're fortifying the heart, the kidneys, working with the alchemy of fire and water. Only bending as far as is comfortable for you, and moving at a pace that supports you. We'll try to keep the shoulder relaxed as we bring the arm across. We don't want to bring our hand any higher than shoulder level, and the elbow is always a little bit lower than the wrist. Remember, as we dip down, we bend into one knee, lean to one side, reach back towards that kidney, slide off that kidney, and pull through. Back to center as we come across the heart, evenly weighted on both legs. Good. And then we begin to shift into the other leg. Scoop back, scoop forward, and come back to center. One more on each side. Looking good. One more challenge here for balance. Let's take the hand, scoop back, and support both kidneys, pushing into the kidneys. Take the backs of the hands to the kidneys, pushing in with the backs of the hands to the kidneys, and then leaning into that support. Now, for some reason, it's not comfortable on your shoulders. You can turn the palms to face the body. It's your choice. Work here with what you have. You feel a stretch moving up the front of the abdomen, feeling the kidneys warmed by the heat of the hands. And then hinge forward, slide forward, bring the hands down the back of the legs, scooping energy up, pulling the energy up the inside of the legs. Good. Bring the hands to the heart, opening up. Good. And pull the hands back. Good. We're going to take and catch a ball with the hand closest to the chair on top. Pick up the heel. Good. Now see if you can lift that foot. Good. And then press down. Catch a ball, do the other side. See if you can lift the foot. And press like you're doing an angle here with the hands slicing. Catch a ball. Sink your weight into the leg closest to the flowers. Come up onto that leg. If you'd like to, you can lift the knee. If you want to get fancy here, you can swing the leg out and slice down. Catching the ball. Coming in. Lifting if you choose. Extend the leg. Slice and swing out. Palms down, sink. And like you're tracing your hands over water, bring the hands in and sink down. Good. Now draw the hands back, the hands together, up and over. Again, continually guiding energy, mobilizing it, and then guiding it back to flow all the way along the spine. We're going to do a relaxation exercise to end, and you're welcome to do this in a chair. In fact, you could do any of this in a chair. Good. Now from here, before we do move into our relaxation, we're going to bring the hands across the shoulders, palms up this time, and repeat that same movement, but this time guiding the energy up over the head and back down the spine. Good. Bending only as far as you can forward and then reaching up, gathering up, looking up, and letting it flow down slowly. Feel and imagine and see energy flowing down the spine like we did in the beginning. Imagine pouring a liquid, maybe a gold colored liquid or maybe a blue colored liquid, a color that's calming for you, represents something to you. Imagine now it being poured into the top of your head, flowing down through the neck, the shoulders, the arms, all the internal organs, the joints, the muscles, the tendons, everything being saturated by this liquid, absorbing it like a sponge, letting it land in the legs. Good. And then take and touch the earth with the hands if you can. You can bend your knees here for this. It's called pressing earth. Bring your index fingers together, your thumbs together, and create a diamond. And if you can, straighten the legs. And we'll just hold this for a couple of breaths. Imagine turning things upside down now. And taking compression off the spine. So all the vertebrae of the spine relaxed here. Bend the knees, get soft. And we're going to begin to come up, catching a ball, and taking that ball into a figure eight pattern. Taking it into that figure eight pattern. Through the body as you rise up. It's moving up the knees to the thighs, the lower dantian, around the waist, up to the chest. Notice it's a nice looping energy of an infinity pattern. So there's no beginning and there's no end, and it's coming all the way up over the head, holding a ball of energy over the head. Good. Expand the energy, contract it, and bring it down with the palms of the hands open towards heaven. Bring the wrists together like you're holding a lotus flower. Bring it towards the heart. That's it. Good. Hold here for a moment and feel as though you can visually see in your mind's eye and your imagination a golden orb of light right in front of the chest. And let your heart and lungs take what they need from this energy. Imagine seeing your body absorb this intelligence, this gift of your own internal medicine. Now, separate the hands and bring them across the opposite shoulder. Good. And brush down the arms. Bring the hands together, rub the hands together. Good. Now take your hands and place them anywhere on your body that you'd like a little extra support. And imagine that same golden energy is in the hands, being transferred to this area of the body. Close your eyes, really get into a sense of the perspective of the part of your body that is receiving this blessing. Wherever we give our attention to, the energy grows. So imagine that we're here as this part of our body that we are affectionately offering this energy to. And just notice through your own imagination and intuitive sense how the body is receiving it, how it's embracing this energy, and we're trusting that the intelligence of our body knows exactly what to do. Good. And from wherever your hands are, bring them to the heart. Place one hand over the other. Good. We're going to move over towards the side of the body closest to the chair and go down the whole length of the leg. Then go out front in a half circle over to the opposite side of the body and pull up the outside of the leg. Come all the way back up. over the head this time, and back down. You can physically touch the body or not. Now we're going to go down to the ankles, over to the other ankle and up. And this time coming across the forehead, tightening up this spiral. Going down to the knees. Good. Noticing the parts of the body that we're scanning and passing. Go down over the thighs, just below the pelvis. Up to the throat. And do the spiraling energy. Under the navel, up to the heart. Into the center. Around the navel. Back to the lower dantian. And then reversing that. Coming around and down. The other side, around the pelvis. Up to the solar plexus. Down towards the knees. Good. You just want to visualize this spiraling energy up to the heart. Down below the knees to the shins. Good. Adding that little twist. Come up to the throat, to the chest. Scanning all parts of the body with the spiral energy, spiraling energies. Good. Healing medicine for the body. Come up over the third eye, passing through, clearing. Down. Down, down, all the way to the floor, all the way to the earth. Gather. And this time all the way up and over the head. Then holding the hands over the head. Separate the hands so the fingers point towards each other. Sink into the legs and feel a shower of energy coming down through the hands into the body. Soften the shoulders. Good. Now as your hands come slowly down in front of the body, imagine scanning the body. Good. And just seeing tension melting off the mind. Any stress of the senses being erased. Tightness of the jaw. Everything stressful on the body is being pulled off like ironing that wrinkled sheet. Just see it falling away, returning to the earth to be recycled. Keep going. Keep going. All the way down the legs. You can actually feel like you're pushing an energy, pulling an energy or pushing your choice, whatever feels right, down and off the body. Now gather the resources of the earth, the support of the earth. Draw up the roots. You're going to feel this newness of life, this energy of aliveness, pulling up the roots, up the trunk, up the torso, reaching out and through the branches. And we'll do our last standing pose here, bending the knees, letting the hands come out to the side, fingers pointing up, elbows bent like a tree. Now imagine above you is a beautiful, healthy, branching system of a tree. Think about your favorite tree. Is it an oak or a willow? What is your favorite tree? And imagine that. And then imagine that same system of branches above, below the surface of the earth as your root system below. And feel the strength of that tree as your support, and draw the arms out to the side. Bring the hands together to the center of the body and come up. Hands to the heart. Let's create a fist. The hand closest to the chair, bow forward. Good. And take your fingers together and your thumbs together, and then bend those fingers in. Create a heart. And namaste. Thank you for being here. Let's check in and see how everybody did.